Hi, my name is Dylan Render, and this is my American culture reaction video to the article Body Ritual Among the Narcomia from my communications class at Grand Canyon University. To begin, the article was a fascinating exercise in making us think about the United States from an outsider's point of view. Reading this article should serve as a reminder that our culture is not the only culture out there. In my opinion, it serves as a pleasant reminder and snaps us back to reality in a small manner. Similarly, I found the descriptions of medical professionals and counselors to be quite interesting. The media sometimes portrays therapists as witch doctors, yet the ability to expel demons from patients' minds is more comparable to the work of priests. But I absolutely agree with the description said about the hospitals. You go in with the expectation that they can help you, but you never know for sure if you'll be able to walk out again depending on your condition or problem. Also, there's one thing I'm not entirely confident on. I was shocked to hear that many mothers don't breastfeed their babies. Given that the article was published in the 50s, perhaps that was the practice of women in positions of authority who could afford wet nurses and the like, but I was under the impression that even in those days, poor women rarely had anyone else care for their newborns. In my opinion, it portrayed American culture as if sorry, I lost my word. As if its citizens were completely insane. It paints them in a negative light as primitive and vile. They are so preoccupied with themselves that they ignore the world around them in favor of improving their own flaws. Unfortunately, it does cover one of today's most talked about topics, which is cosmetic surgery. Tattoos are a growing trend in today's society. A growing number of young people, myself included, are getting tattoos. So far, I just have one tattoo, which is this one, right there on my wrist. It's a cross. But I intend to get more in the future. Not until quite recently did this become common, and many members of the older generation, including my grandparents, are still strongly opposed to it. However, other Native American groups such as Samoans and Hawaiians employ tattoos to show off their social standing. The ancient Greeks are another example of a culture. From as early as the 5th century, spies have utilized tattoos as a means of secret communication. Tattoos were used by the Romans to identify criminals and slaves, a practice unfamiliar to modern Americans. I will also discuss how tattoos have evolved over time. To begin, in the early 1900s, 1920s, and 1930s, tattoos were commonly seen on those who were considered to be an outside or normal culture, such as sailors, circus freaks, and inmates. Nautical tattoos, such as anchors, became increasingly common among sailors as a way to commemorate their journeys. In maritime culture, some tattoos carry deeper connotations. In the past, sailors' tattoos indicated how far they had traveled. For instance, a turtle tattoo indicated that the carrier had crossed the equator, while a swallow tattoo indicated that the carrier had traveled 5,000 miles. As the pain of getting a tattoo inspired the development of a stick and poke method, tattoos were also rare. Their popularity soared in the 1940s when women were given more opportunities to help the United States and men were able to brag about their service. People in the 1950s sought a more traditional society, therefore the norm shifted back to bad. As a symbol of protest against the Vietnam War, the peace sign symbol became widespread in the 1960s. This was a sentiment of many, as many returning soldiers thought they were treated unfairly once they came back. Since so many people in the United States wanted peace, this explains why the peace symbol tattoo took off or got more popular. In the 60s and 70s, however, tattoos expanded in size, complexity. At the same time, they evolved into a popular method of expressing one's individuality. In the 1990s, they became popular among women who had undergone a mastectomy, and more delicate variations emerged. Although they finally hit mainstream status in the early 2000s and continue to do so now, many older generations still look down on those who have them. Christianity is one faith that frowns upon tattoos. This is because to the biblical commandment, you must not make any scar mark in your body for the dead, nor shall you make any tattoos marking on yourself, which is in Leviticus 19, verse 19:28. As a result, many Christians, including myself, are sinning because of this, which will ultimately lead to our eternal punishment in hell. Like music, our clothes, and pretty much everything else that sets us apart from the norm, I think it's been a good thing because it lets us express ourselves. It's absurd that we've given into the idea that tattoos are inherently evil or unprofessional in order to normalize or at least accept them. Ink is a personal choice, and I don't think someone should be condemned for showing off theirs. Thank you for your time and listening to my video. Thank you so much. Have a good one.